Welcome back to the show, episode 114, if I'm not mistaken. Episode 114 of the N.y.a show. Hope that everybody had a well week. I can say that it went good for me, brothers, sisters, and everyone else. I don't know how it was for y'all, but I'm really hoping it was the best. Got the cut on Friday. Had to go get the cut up. This weekend was pretty low key. I spent most of the day in the house yesterday, and I went and seen some of my family later that day. Did some running around, followed by today. Get up early. Went to service with the wife and the kids. Then we went out to eat as a family. We went to what's that barbecue chicken in College Park. Hit that spot up. Never had been there before, but pretty big servings of food, and it wasn't too expensive. And then went and hollered at one of my folks later on today. You could drop below how everything went for you guys this weekend, and I'm always hoping for a better week than last week. Also, we'll be trying to roll out doing more and more, being more active during the week. Of course, cutting the show up has been very well for everything that I'm doing. Cutting the show up and then putting it up at different times throughout the week. But number one, like I said, I will be looking to branch out on doing more on my side during the weeks. Now let's hop straight into the stories this week as I talk about a female soldier found dead at Fort Hood, the same army base in Texas where Vanessa Guillen was murdered. Please excuse my mispronunciation of the last name. Fort Hood said Thursday that no foul play was evident so far in an ongoing investigation into the March 13th death of Private Anna by Salduo Ruiz. She was 20. Everything is always no foul play to start. I've seen that. Please remember that as we go through the show. No foul play. Rest in peace to this young lady, Anna Ruiz, who had her life, who unfortunately, based on what we have now, took her own life. But let's talk about everything else involved in this story. A female soldier, the same Texas, but Vanessa was murdered 3 years ago. Combat engineer Anna Ruiz, she died on Monday at the base, Fort Hood said in a news release. She was 20 from Long Beach, joined the Army in 2021, and was assigned the 1st Cavalry Division since December of that year. Once again, rest in peace to this young lady. Officers did not reveal how she passed, but it said an investigation is underway into the circumstances. The base said that the chain of command and contact with her family provides support to her family. We are deeply saddened by the loss. We extend our sympathies to the family, said Lieutenant Patrick Sullivan, commander of the 91st Engineer Battalion. Our thoughts and prayers are with them during this difficult time. She was an exceptional teammate that will truly be missed. Army CID will continue to conduct an investigation into what happened. The League of United Latino American Citizens held a news conference Friday at the main gate of Fort Hood, demanding the FBI investigation into Basado Ruiz's death. Hey, y'all, you see how there's different, even our Latin family, they come together and they have their own groups of people just like the NAACP. I never thought about that up to this point, to be honest with y'all, but I thought that's pretty dope how they were advocating that the FBI get involved, just like with the things that happened with the American who lost her life down in Mexico, how you had people here that were rallying behind that, saying that y'all should do more. We need the FBI to look into this. Leaders said that soldier partners stated that their daughter had complained about repeated sexual harassment by other service members, including her superiors. For the Army to say no foul play presumes facts that have not yet been brought forth. For the Army to say no foul play will also indicate a tone deafness to the concerns of the father and the mother of Ana Fernanda Balcidio Ruiz, who stated that she had been the target of alleged sexual harassment, repeated and consistent sexual harassment by other members up and including immediate supervisor to who she reported, David Cruz, the communications director of the LULAC. So that's good there because now you have more information into it. Like I said, it had to be more. So apparently there was some sexual harassment going on as well as she reported it. I want to know, is it going to come out who that superior is and how long that superior is around after that information comes out? Because as you guys know, with the case of the young lady Vanessa Guillen right here, the officer involved in the girlfriend that helped get rid of her body, who came from this murder happened 3 years ago at this same base. Then before he could be served his paperwork, he ended up taking his own life. So that's why I'm really trying to hope to see as the rest of the story plays out what's going to be the end of some of the people that are involved, because it has to be more than just foul play if any harassment was involved with this story. Now, an independent review after the young lady who lost her life at this same base 3 years ago, an independent review following her death found that the command climate at Fort Hood created a permissive environment for sexual assault and sexual harassment. Several investigations sparked by Guylien's death led to removal of 14 base leaders in December of 2020. Her death also inspired legal reforms to help and protect victims of sexual assault in the military. Yo, I think it's important to note that people, nobody's perfect. If anybody that's there, you can talk to people who share their experiences with being in the services. Not everyone is always protected, and it's not. I used to think it was just like this battleproof place where none of that type of stuff that was going to go on, but obviously that's not the case. And I want to say rest in peace again to this young lady who lost her life, who took her life due to whatever that was going on that base. Only more will be released for us to know. And that her parents talked to her and said she sounded just fine to us, but so for her to just be found dead like that, it kind of does tell us that there's going to be more to it. And it's this bad heat. I wouldn't want this kind of heat 3 years later after my place was already hot from a murder of another young lady. I don't think that none of this is a good look, to be honest. And then, of course, you have people who also look at it other ways and say that maybe, of course, there was no foul play, just like they said. This young lady was maybe going through a lot that she didn't want to share with her family, like many people who are in the service go through, and she ended up taking her lives. Maybe they're going things out of proportion. Maybe this guy actually, maybe when we find out the guy's involved, maybe he was getting, even though he was the boss, maybe he was getting bullied on some, ain't nobody listen to your bitch ass nigga and all of the other stuff. And then got to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm not going for it no more. And came up with some type of plan and did something like this. But I really think there's going to come out that more were involved with it. But we'll see as this story develops, because of course I will be there when it does come back around to see what exactly happened with this young lady. So let me say her name one more time, because I want to say rest in peace one more time to Anna from Fernanda Balsadio Ruiz. Rest in peace to that young lady. Missouri police confirmed the body found Friday was missing 13-year-old Jaydenrobker. This story is by Bob D'Angelo Cox. No, Bob D'Angelo over at Cox Media, Kansas City, coming out of Kansas City. Police in Missouri confirmed on Sunday that the body found in a Kansas City suburb 2 days earlier was a 13-year-old named Jayden. Authorities said. The Gladstone Police Department said the boy's body was found in a pond about a mile from his residence. Police waited 48 hours before officially confirming the boy's identity. Family members said on Friday that the description of the body matched Robker's description. Robkin had been missing since February 2nd, y'all. Can you imagine your kid been missing that long and what this family probably been going through just to get the answers up to this point? They probably didn't even know if they were going to get some answers in the end anyway, as we will, why we say how we just came off this last story and we hoping that we get some answers later. She's been missing since the second. Family members said the teen came home from school, grabbed this electric skateboard and left. The teen was last seen on surveillance camera at the Quick Trip on the second. The autopsy says no evidence of foul play, but they're going to investigate. This is the outcome we were hoping for. We were hoping we find some answers, but not these ones. The boy's uncle, Derek Rocker, told WDAF on Friday. The officers of both agencies extend their deepest sympathies to the family. Yeah, once again, rest in peace to this kid, because once again, you have an example of, we don't know what could have the last moments of this child could have been like. He could have came home that day, didn't really tell nobody nothing, and dipped off, which I don't advise. Dipped off, ran into someone. Maybe he wasn't going. Maybe he wasn't going, and the dude or the female, because it could have been anybody, anything, ended up taking this kid's life because he wasn't going for it. Like, y'all know that sex trafficking here, even in Georgia, is a big thing that kind of goes on like the Underground Railroad around this bitch, and nobody really seems to care too much. And maybe this young man said that, nah, I ain't going, and he ended up losing his life due to that. Maybe parents had been telling him, warning him over and over and over, yo, you gotta chill out. You need to, chill out. And he just wasn't listening, like how, me and I know other people probably was at 13 on some, on some whatever, and went against that and eventually led to his demise. But and then it could have been a freak, like I said, a creep show, a whole creep show. No telling what happened to this young man. He was just found, but he's been gone since the 2nd of February. This young man could have anything could have been done to this boy's body, and then this man just let or this female just left him there like that in a pond. And it's like everybody keep a super watch on your kids. I really hate no phone, like no phone tracking on him. He got at a quick trip, so obviously he knew how to get his way around. Last seen at a quick trip on surveillance. I know that there's more footage out there in more places, and hopefully it could be some type of rally behind this story, and then get some more answers for this family on exactly what happened. But this happens in more cases than what we know. You know what I'm saying? More cases than we know. I definitely, say RIP to this young man, 13 years old, just probably went out on some whatever. I would have had some Tupac in my ear, hitting the roads, just taking a breather. And then all of a sudden you run into the unfortunate, which we watch on TV all the time and never think that it could be us. But unfortunately, a lot of people run into these situations. You can't get out of it. And I would say we all just one day away from being a story. I just hope to make it to another week to cover another story and hope that nobody's covering me as a story. It's the N.y.a show. I appreciate y'all checking out the show. Let me know y'all thoughts on these stories. Like this young man been missing since February 2nd. He's been found, and hopefully his family can get some peace now. But they still need more answers on what exactly happened in this situation. Then we had this female soldier who took her own life on an army base, but told people, her friends on the base, and people close to her said that she had been experiencing sexual harassment. There's some type of harassment there, and of course, if the people step in, independent researchers step in, we're gonna get down to the bottom of exactly what happened here. So it's the N.y.a show. Let me know your thoughts, and let's have another good week. I appreciate everybody, and I'll see you next week.